if you have ever struggled with self-doubt or that inner critic voice that keeps saying you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, then this video is for you. I'm going to flip the narrative, the story that we're telling ourselves from being that negative script, and we're going to make it a new story that your future self is going to feel so empowered and proud that you've made the commitment to make that shift. So if this is a topic that is sparking your interest or curiosity, please stick around. For anyone new to this channel, hello, I am Tanya. I am a rapid transformational therapist and coach, and I empower women over the age of 40 to truly authentically love themselves and show up for themselves, whatever they may be facing in life, as their more supportive and encouraging version. And as a result, they end up thriving in their life. So in this video, what I'm going to do is cover off 4 steps and to help you change the narrative and change that story. So step number 1, it's about the language and the words that we actually use and how these words matter. We are with ourselves 24/7. From the moment we take our first breath until our last, we are with ourselves the whole time. And the way that the language that we use, if it is harsh, unkind, cruel, then it's not going to motivate us and encourage us to take action. And as I've mentioned in other videos, a lot of the action that we need to take in order for us to achieve our goals and aspirations, in order for us to navigate this life experience in a fun, sustainable and way that's going to deliver the joy and fulfillment that we all innately are seeking. Therefore, we're actually holding ourselves back. Because if it is harsh and cruel and unkind and judgmental, then why are we going to take that uncomfortable action when things don't work out the way that we hope that they would? Therefore, we're going to step back, and then we're just going to replay that negative narrative. And this is where, if you're constantly saying, I always mess up, I am lazy, I am not smart enough, then you're just reinforcing those beliefs that no longer serve you. Because in order for you to achieve your goals and aspirations, surely you wouldn't be a lazy person, because you're an action taker. You're willing to take uncomfortable action to pursue your goals and aspirations. So if you flipped those words and you started saying, I am learning, I am growing through this experience, I am capable, I am resourceful, you're using words that are demonstrating that you're not an expert, you've not got it all figured out, you're going through the process, but they are encouraging you to take the next step. And as a result, you're actually showing up for yourself. So ask yourself the question, what are the words that you would love to hear and they would encourage you to take action, even if that action was uncomfortable at times? So, what are those words? Let me know in the comments below. The second step is about being accountable, but with kindness. And this is where, as I said, if we've got cruel, unkind, judgmental words that we're actually using, then it's going to hold us back from taking the action. But what I don't want us to do is take ourselves off the hook that we're so kind and gentle, and we're like, oh, okay, the narrative in the story is, oh, I'm not capable at the moment to do the work because it's hard, it is unfamiliar, I don't feel good, and I feel nervous and anxious, or I'm going to fail. You could have all those kind of words and things going through your head. But in some instances, it can be a lot harsher. It can be, you are a failure, you are stupid, you are incapable, and it can be really harsh words. And if those are the words that you're actually using, you're not encouraging and empower yourself to take action. So flip it and sort of like think, I am not longer talking to Tanya, I am talking to the 7-year-old version of Tanya, or I am talking to my own child, or to a neighbour's child, or a friend's child. the language that you would use with a 7-year-old would not be, you are stupid, you are unkind, you are incapable. You would actually phrase it in a way that is going to encourage them to take action. So you would be, you're learning something new. You did great, you showed up for yourself, you took action. So this is where we need to celebrate all the kind of small victories, the small progress that we make. I have mentioned numerous times, it's the 1 millimeter step increment that we're actually making, that consistent action is going to give us the compound benefits and rewards at the end by achieving our goals and aspirations. So no matter how small that progress is, and even if it is today that you're standing still and you're becoming aware, you're listening to this video, then you're actually taking on some new knowledge. Acknowledge that. Give yourself a wee pat on the back for showing up, for taking 10 minutes out of your time, which is a precious resource, but you're committed to actually learning something new and then applying that something new into your life to help you to achieve your goals and aspirations. So be kind and don't take yourself off the hook. You're still accountable. Step number 3 is about the power of daily affirmations. Now, for those of you that do not believe the words that you're actually saying when you do daily affirmations, I just want you to sort of like think of the biggest supporter that you could be. Think of having your own little Tanya coach in your brain that's actually saying that. So rather than you thinking of yourself saying these things to yourself, think of someone else that's in there supporting you and saying, I am capable of amazing things. I show up for myself every day. I am doing the best that I can. I am an action taker. I am resourceful. Even if those aren't qualities that you embody at this moment in time, but they are traits that your future self will have accomplished in order for them to achieve their goals and aspirations. So I use the Mel Robbins in the morning where I do the high five in the mirror, I say hello to myself, and I'm like, whatever I need encouragement. One of the usual ones is I'm showing up for myself. I am encouraging myself. I am supporting myself. And as a result, then those words become second nature. They start becoming familiar, and then we start identifying and recognizing that our behaviors are starting to mirror those more empowering beliefs that we're actually affirming and saying out loud. Because we are all smart and capable of change, but we need to actually take the steps and do the small incremental actions until it starts becoming automatic and like part of who we are. And that rewiring is all about changing the way that we actually think and how we show up for ourselves. Step number 4, it's a tip that I've actually came across a few years back when I read Professor Steve Peters' book, The Chimp Paradox, and that is about giving that inner critic voice a name. So for me, now you may be like, oh, yes, we've got inner voices, and if we give that inner voice a name, then we can make the distinction between that voice and who we want to be and who we are distinct. So then it's easier for you to then challenge that voice and sort of like reframe the wording in the way that it shows up for you. So for me, that inner critic voice is Grumpy Tanya. And I've talked about in other videos about setting healthy boundaries, and one of the great ways to practice setting healthy boundaries is about you having boundaries with that inner critic. So you can say to that inner critic voice, no, Grumpy Tanya, today I am not listening to what you're saying because I need and I want and I get the opportunity to take action. And you can shut that voice down. Now, if you can start doing it with yourself, then it starts becoming easier doing it with other people. And going back to the earlier step, it's about being accountable, but being kind and using the words that are going to encourage you. But in this instance, you can actually say, no, Grumpy Tanya, we're not doing what you're saying. This isn't the way that we're going to approach things today. So you can actually take power. So these 4 steps will enable you to change the language and the narrative, because as I mentioned, we're in this relationship with ourselves 24/7, 365 days a year, from the moment we take our first breath until we take our last breath. And how we show up for ourselves is critical to how then we show up for other people as well. So you can flip it from being an inner critic that's always pushing you down, always telling you that you're not good enough, or you can flip it and it can become your biggest supporter, your biggest encourager, because you will need to take action in life that's not always going to feel comfortable and familiar. But if you've got that voice that's like, I'm learning, I'm growing, I get the opportunity to try and experiment and do things, then you can actually start showing up for yourself in a more encouraging and empowering way. And don't forget to celebrate the victories, even the small steps that you're actually doing. So if this video and this content is resonating with you and you like my vibe, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you believe this content would be of benefit for someone else, please share. And I want you to go out and seize the day. Give yourself a little challenge. Name your inner critic. Give it a name that you can actually say, no, Grumpy Tanya, don't. We're not doing this today. We're actually going to show up and be the best version of ourselves. So let's encourage each other, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.